Hey guys, we're here with another Fatal Fury City of the Wolves character trailer, just like we called it, 3 days after Hotaru Futaba Griffin Mask, aka Tizoc, has been released by the SNK YouTube channel. It's hard being right all the time, Abe, isn't it?
The writing was on the wall. Well, I don't know about writing on the wall, actually. I feel like it was very blatantly out there after the third video. Not just the timing of the release of the videos, but also the sequence. And as far as I could tell, the order is correct that we called out so far. What we said that Tizoc was going to come next, and then after this, Preacher. Because in the original reveal for City of the Wolves at SWC, it had those orders of characters that we're currently going off of right now.
Right, in the actual video, they would pop up on video in this order.
Yes, and then Preacher is the only one that's left. Now, the other thing that we talked about in the last video was how technically every single character had their own stage, even going as far back as to Marco. The only thing that really I'm waiting for is to see if we get a new stage.
The Japanese version of this trailer refers to him as Griffin Mask, which is the original title for the character, but the English version of this trailer still calls him Tizoc. So they're using both names now versus what you call when we had to choose between Marco Rodriguez or Kushinawad Butt, as Joe would say.
Nah, bro, he don't even say it like that.
We gotta find the clip, bro.
That was Kanashwood Butt, bro.
Yeah. Shout outs to Joe.
Shout outs to L.I. Joe, bro.
I've never heard anybody interpret a name that way. And as you're getting this trailer going, I had watched some videos of Tizoc, and I was like, dang, they didn't really show a lot in that trailer.
They didn't, right?
Like the rev system. Oh, new stage. Here we go.
Oh, okay. It's a ring.
Is this
it's a
Big
wrestling
Bear,
ring.
aka Raiden?
Oh, that was. Oh, snap! It is. Uh-oh.
Okay, I like this stage. I like it. Okay, we got the rev system going.
Oh, the
All right,
ground
nice
bounce off that.
cancel. I
Okay.
haven't seen that actually.
No, I have not seen that. I don't want to say it's new because we saw so little of this character so far, but that is fairly new to me. Ooh. And it's looking like it's working out for him, man.
All right, I really like the stage. We got another cameo. This time a blatant cameo right in front of your face. One that you could. There's no level of discernment there. It is literally Big Bear, aka Raiden.
Yeah, no, so that's actually kind of I won't say that takes him out of the running for being the game, but I know a lot of people were just all like, hey, where is he? Is he going to appear in one way or the other? Is he going to be in the game? And yeah, he is as a background character, basically, which is actually funny because I don't know who was talking to me about this, but they basically said what they wanted from Tizoc's stage, if he got one, was a wrestling ring, much like or very similar to what is the Galaxy Anton Wrestling stage in KOF 15 with classic SNK wrestling characters in the back. And I remember I said, I don't know if I want that because I remember what it looked like in KOF 15 and nobody chose that stage. Nobody ever chose that
I like the stage, but it's a lot.
It is a lot.
Like it's one of those stages that's like it's a lot. I don't know if I want to be in a competitive match and be like, oh man, I got to deal with all these lasers or all these crazy colors.
Yeah. But it
this
works perfectly, I feel.
This is a really nice looking stage. The big difference here in this game that I feel like you can do stages like this is the artistic style of how the characters are shaded and the backlighting that really separate the foreground from the background.
Yeah, and I think the character models just being bigger in general also helps with that. There's such a stark contrast in between what the characters look like, at least in their base color models, and what the background looks like. And you're really seeing that here because as colorful as this new stage is, Tizoc still pops out. Big Bear Raiden still kind of pops out too on a blue background at that. And Marco still pops out.
So everything looks good. We're digging the new stage. I'm digging the music. The music's been sounding pretty solid across the board for all the characters that have gotten released so far. I'm super interested. All right, we kind of mentioned it earlier. What do you think the guest characters in the back are suggesting? Are they suggesting that maybe these are going to be characters that are going to come out in a future game? Is this a character that you think you're just going to come out in this game? Because, you know, Big Bear Raiden has been in Fatal Fury games, obviously, right?
Yes, that is the home base for him.
Right, home base is Fatal Fury, right? Just straight up Fatal Fury. AG's not, but he is in Art of Fighting, which is in the original character.
Yes.
Same thing with drawing a blank on Homeboy from the biker stage.
Let's call him Big Jack.
Yes, Jack. There you go.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find a pattern in that. Like, what does it mean? Where are we going with it? It wasn't so obvious that was King, but it could have been King. I don't know if they confirmed it or not.
That's something that a lot of people had speculated about for a long time, but there's not much to go on there other than that woman in Rock's background has the King haircut, and she's bald. Yeah. She's blonde. I don't say she's bald. Blonde, and is hanging out in a bar. Because those are like the three things that King does, or that she's known for.
These cameos are very deliberate, right?
I feel that they are.
This Big Bear Raiden one, the AG one, the King, and the statue, or the Mount Rushmore in the background.
So you actually raised a really good point, very interesting one. If you look at this just for what it is, Raiden's a character that probably will not appear in the game, and so they gave him some shine in the background. They did a really good job showcasing him on this stage. Like, he's looking like he's been given quite a bit of detail. To the point where, like, I'm actually looking at his mask and I'm seeing, like, the dude's sporting some long hair. He's got some locks coming out the back of the mask now. So he's clearly grown the hair out a little bit, changing his image a little bit. It's important enough to note that in this stage. It might just be fan service. It might be something that, if you are of the other mind, and I think Street Fighter V was probably not, I don't want to say they're the first to do this, but they're probably the most recent example of it that I can think of where a character that once appeared in the background eventually becomes DLC. And I'm talking about Alex in Street Fighter V.
You can't escape.
Originally, I believe Alex was a background character in the car crash stage of Street Fighter V, and then he also ended up being the Season 1 first DLC character. And that's something to me meant, like, okay, the rules of background characters in fighting games are now broken. If Capcom's doing it, it's open season on such an idea, right? If the heat for the character, that's how I feel about it. If the heat for a character is that hot and they throw him in a background and everybody's like, yo, is he or is he not in the game? I think companies reserve the right to just plug him in, you know? I think Raiden maybe might have that kind of heat. But, like, that Mount Rushmore with Billy Kane and Krauser, obviously Billy Kane's already in the game, so that only lends to the speculation there, right? But you see Krauser, you see Lawrence Blood, and finally decided that that's Geese on the fourth side of that Mount Rushmore mountain. Yeah, you put those characters in there. You put those characters in there like that, and you're like, hey, so are these guys going to appear in the game? I feel like you're crazy if you don't do it. I feel like you're leaving too much money on the table if you don't do that. You can't really save those characters for another game.
Well, so you mentioned the hair coming out of the mask on Raiden, right?
Yeah.
It seems like a borderline redesign.
A little bit, yeah.
So that would also lend to the possibility that this character could be a redesign for this game, but then it's like they've already said, I mean, he's not I don't see him as an Art of Fighting character. So
nah.
I feel like we could all agree that Raiden is a Fatal Fury character.
Yeah, Raiden is 100% a Fatal Fury character in this instance.
Yeah, you think of Raiden, Big Bear, he's like, oh, that's a Fatal Fury character.
Yes.
Also, it could just be a shout out to all commentators, man. It was like, we still got it in us, bro. We can still get in that top
still
8.
Step in there anytime we want, bro.
Yeah, still a legend.
Make me lace these boots up, brother.
Yeah, dude. I still got the setup in the locker room, bro. They never took my spot away. I still got the same locker. Nobody's put their stuff in my locker, man. It's mine.
You know what I'm just realizing? I don't think they show his rev blow in this trailer.
I'm trying to think if they showed it in the other one. See, like
that would be the dropkick, I believe.
So when they announced that it is Tizoc, I did watch some of the developer matches.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty basic. You know, you just saw it go down, but nothing too crazy. But now that we've seen so much gameplay, we've seen what a lot of the options that these characters have. But it's been a while for Tizoc. So watching the video, you get a small glimpse of what he can do. But in this video, it does illustrate pretty much probably a lot of the options you're gonna go for. Because I was thinking about it, I was like, this character seems like a really good character to utilize guard cancel, right?
Yeah, because the
guard
cancel in the command grab
into Rev art, into XL art, you know, like EX into EX, like guard cancel into an EX, command grab into another move. It seems like that would be really good with it. I mean, yeah, I mean, they didn't show that off in this game, but these are the types of things that I've been thinking about since I saw this.
But I'm noticing that a lot of his strings don't necessarily require Rev Excel. Like, and they make a point to show that several times in this trailer's time span. You know, most characters, especially like Preacher, right? She is Rev Excelling everything because that's her main source of damage. She's burning a lot of Rev meter. What do they call it? The wall toss right there. Yeah, that's just 2 raw Rev arts. It's not a Rev Excel.
That's 3.
That's 3. Yeah, wow.
Rewind it back.
So if we've seen characters
1, 2, and then the EX command grab, or the EX air grab. Yeah, I want to see more of this character. And the thing is like, since it's a grappler, I feel like showing this character off does take a little bit more of like an expertise to show off.
At least that's what you would
utilize the game system more.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that when we were at Evo, I didn't see a lot of people doing that. You didn't see a lot of people guard canceling stuff. Like, you didn't see a lot of people utilizing rev art for setups. Or, as a matter of fact, like, I saw this in the developer videos too, is how they use the chain normals into knockdown.
And that was something that I was trying in the Evo build in our set. I was trying to do a chain combo into a special, and I was unsuccessful at doing it. But I remember you could do that. We had done one of our shorts showcases that, and then Gibby actually explains how that works.
Well, so in the videos that I was watching, it seemed like a really good setup for a mix-up grappler type character. So, like I said, like the way that the game is working right now, it seems to really suit Tizoc really well.
My moves are invincible.
Hey, how you doing? The name's Gibby, and Sleuthin is my game. Now, this was the Tizoc / Griffin mask reveal. Not a ton to go over with here. Pockets and Abe did miss a few things, so I'm here to just, look over this to see what they missed. I'm looking at the ring. The ring is a gigantic electric-looking bird, and that electric bird could very likely well be, it's Raiden's and Tizoc's like joint venture, maybe. You see the Maximum Mayhem going all around the arena, and for those who don't know, Maximum Mayhem was the name of the tournament for Mark of the Wolves. So here you can see it say KOF on bottom in Mark of the Wolves, and there's a reason Pockets and Abe missed this. They don't play on this stage very often, but in Mark of the Wolves you get this stage here, a similar stage where it says Maximum Mayhem on it. But also on the ring, it says the King of Fighters. We'll pull up a clip or something from it. Pockets will get it. He's good at that. And we have all these eggs everywhere, like Easter eggs. I don't know what those eggs are. Maybe they're Duck King's eggs. That'd be pretty cool. Duck King coming out here because it's bird themed. Duck King, Duck Bird. Makes sense. But traditionally, all the Fatal Fury games are King of Fighters, not King of Fighters 94 or 95. Instead, what they are is the King of Fighters tournament that Geese puts on to see who's the strongest, so he can marry them or something. This wasn't Geese because it was Kind that threw the first one, and it's like, oh hey, we're gonna be throwing the Maximum Mayhem tournament, which is what this is. And it could explain why a bunch of older characters never showed up. They just learned of Maximum Mayhem. Yeah, looking at that bird, that Raiden bird, that Thunderbird. That's a pretty big, inconspicuous bird. And they got flames on the ground. This is a very good stage, by the way. Just to go quickly into Tizoc's moves on my end, he's got everything. He's got the charge buttons. I don't know if they talked about it, but it looks like he's got Stance C, and then he's got Charge Stance C, which I imagine does more stun or knockback or combo ability. The only people that got to play him so far are people who went to Evo Japan: Justin Wong, Kayane, and Maximilian. So overall, he looks really good. My big gripe with him is not necessarily a huge negative, but to me it's a negative because I've known these characters for 25 years. I know them well, I know them intimately, all that stuff. We mentioned this in the past where Tizoc and Marco look like they're almost the exact same size. And while we know Tizoc's like in a hunched position, he's kind of sort of in that hunched position in Marco the Wolves as well. And he's still towered over Marco. It doesn't make any sense unless he's hunching lower, you know, for this to work. I think they just made Tizoc shorter, or either that or they just lied about his height like they do in wrestling. Maybe Raiden back there is not actually 6'5". Maybe that's Big Van Vader, who knows? Or oh yeah, it's Big Bear. Yeah, it's probably just Big Bear. I can see that. Tizoc and Grant were your two bigs, and now Marco is essentially the same size as the bigs. You gotta make the bigs bigger. That's why we gotta get Franco big in here, you know? I think that'll do it. He's gonna bash him up, do it right. That's what I think. That's what I hope.